Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making an easy, amazing no-bake cheesecake. So let's get started. We're starting off with the crust, and for this we want 2 cups or 260 grams of graham cracker crumbs. You can buy them pre-crumbled or put them in the food processor and do it yourself. If you don't have graham crackers or you don't like them, use any cookie you enjoy. You could use shortbread cookies, ginger snap, Biscoff, Oreos. They're all gonna work. Just whiz them up until they're crumbs. Pulse this a few times. All crumbled up. And by the way, if you don't want to use a food processor, go ahead and pop your cookies into a bag and just bash them up with a rolling pin. It's a really fun activity if you have kids at home. Transfer your crumbs into a large bowl. To sweeten things up, I'm adding a 1/4 cup or 50 grams of granulated sugar. You could also use brown sugar if you want. Give that a little mix. And now we're gonna drizzle in 1/2 cup of melted butter. Stir this together until all those crumbs are moistened. I like to do this by hand instead of in the food processor because the food processor is just too aggressive. It can really almost create graham cracker butter if you're not careful. So a little hand stirring is fine by me. And today I'm making a plain graham cracker crumb base. If you wanted to, yes, you could use other cookies, but you could incorporate things that you love like pecans, toasted walnuts, macadamia nuts. Just process them as well, and they'll add a little bit of extra texture and taste. Then you could add cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, cardamom, whatever spice you enjoy will work in here too. So really make this recipe your own. Once your mixture looks like wet sand, we're ready to transfer into a 9-inch springform pan. I'm so excited because today I finally get to use my new springform pan. I had an old one that I got at the supermarket like 15 years ago for so long, and I found this one, and listen to this. The other one flexed so much it made it really difficult to just get like a nice even base. So we're giving this guy a test try. Transfer your crumbs into your springform pan. Give your pan a little shimmy, and now use a flat bottomed glass or measuring cup to shift things up a bit. We want to have a little bit of a wall, and then we're going to tamp it down. This crust only works if you press. Otherwise, it'll be a crumbly mess. Work your way up gradually, and then you can really press. This cheesecake is so easy, by the way. I know everyone loves cheesecake. How can you not? What kind of monster wouldn't like cheesecake? They can get a little bit stressful. Maybe they're gonna burn, maybe they're gonna crack. Maybe if you're using a water bath, the water will leak into your pan, although this one's waterproof. So a couple of things can go wrong, even though the cake itself is easy. And the No Bake Cheesecake solves all that. There's nothing that can go wrong. It's gonna be delicious no matter what you do, as long as you make a crust and mix everything together until smooth. It's so simple. Press the bottom in, and as you press, twist so crumbs don't stick to your glass or measuring cup. My glass was a little curved, so I'm using a perfect 90-degree angle measuring cup to finish things off. Insert Virgo feelings music. My crust is ready. We're gonna pop this into the freezer while we make our filling so it's nice and set when it's ready. In you go. Grab a stand mixer, fit it with a paddle attachment, or you can grab a big bowl and use a hand mixer for this. We're gonna use 4 blocks of cream cheese. That's 908 grams, but this is one of the key points of this super simple recipe. Make sure your cream cheese is softened. If it's too hard, you'll have clumps of cream cheese that don't mix with the sugar, that don't mix with anything else, and that's not the texture you want. It should be creamy, dreamy, and perfectly sweet throughout. I'll leave my cream cheese out on the counter for a few hours or microwave it at 50% power in like 10-second bursts until it's nice and soft. Just make sure you take it out of the foil packaging first. That would be a sparky disaster. I'm also adding in 1/3 cup or 79 grams of sour cream. So the sour cream is gonna do 2 things. Lighten the mixture up just a little bit so it's not super dense. We don't want a dense brick-like cheesecake. It's also gonna give you a wonderful little bit of a tang. This and lemon juice work together so that your cheesecake isn't like overpoweringly sweet. It's not dull in one note. It has a little bit of a lift to it. I also want 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna give this a mix before I add the rest of the ingredients, just to get things started. Work up to medium, don't go super high on this, and just let it beat for about 30 seconds. Doing this will help you get a nice smooth filling. All right, just like that, it's nice and creamed up. Now we want to add 1 cup or 120 grams of powdered sugar. Use powdered sugar in a no-bake cheesecake because granulated sugar will not melt. There's no liquid to dissolve it, so it'll be gritty. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Before that gets too far down the road, I'm going to scrape the bowl down because I know there is some unmixed Ooh, so pretty. I know there is some unmixed nonsense on the bottom, and that's unacceptable. See, I'm finding little bits of powdered sugar, little hard bits of cream cheese. A little secret is, your lumps, if you have them, are gonna come from right here on your beater where things first started getting creamed up. That's where the cream cheese likes to hide, so just scrape that down too. Let this mix on medium for 1 to 2 minutes until it is nice and smooth. In the meantime, grab a medium bowl, half a cup of cold, heavy cream, and a whisk. This mixture looks so nice and smooth. Take a look at that. It's very creamy and dreamy. Grab that medium bowl, half a cup of heavy cold cream. You're gonna whisk this for 1 minute until stiff peaks form. If you want, you can try and use a hand mixer, but it's so little whipped cream that your hand is basically just as good. Or so I think. It's all in the wrist. That was so satisfying. We're gonna fold this cream into our cheesecake mixture, and you probably guessed, but this just lightens things up. You're gonna taste things better when they're lighter and creamier. Like a melt in your mouth cake versus like a dense, gummy, overmixed cake taste totally different. You taste the light cake more, you will taste the light cream cheese based cake more as well. Now we're gonna fold the cream into our cheesecake mixture. I like to do this step by hand because you don't wanna deflate the cream you just whipped up, and you have to scrape the bowl down anyways. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Fold them together, just cut through the middle, go around the side, and cut through the middle again. You're making loopy patterns. Ooh, so dreamy. Grab your crust out of the freezer and let's get this together. Transfer your smooth, luscious, amazing mixture into your crust and just try to get no big air bubbles. Get all of that mixture out. Now work it down so you don't have any big bubbles at the bottom. I'm using an offset spatula just to make it look as pretty as possible for me, but you do not have to. I'm also using a turntable, no surprises. Okay, we're just going to give this a final swirl. And just like that, our cheesecake's ready to go into the fridge to set. Cover it up with plastic or a bonnet, let it sit there for at least 2 hours to up to overnight, and then we're gonna garnish it and make it gorgeous. Much chilling later, my cheesecake looks exactly the same, but it's set. Let's try and get this off. And there we go. Use a knife or offset spatula to unmount your cheesecake from the bottom of the pan. And now with confidence, did anyone ever tell you this no-bake cheesecake is a little delicate? Give it a slice and you're ready to enjoy. Oh my gosh, it is so creamy and light. This crust is perfectly crispy, so every bite has a creamy, crunchy moment, and it's just perfect. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my cheesecake playlist.